by 5. Edwards no good. Edwards gets it back. Jaden McDaniels in the corner. Yes, it's a 2-point game. 3.5 seconds left. Timberwolves down by 3. Edwards at the line. He would make the first. He needs to miss the second on purpose. Again, 3.5 seconds left. Where are we going to go? We got to fight for the ball. We're going to throw it away, but hold everything. A fan's going to catch it. And look at the time on the clock. When the fan catches the ball, there is still time remaining. So the T-Wolves have a last opportunity, but that doesn't go anywhere. Julius Randle throws it up. The Thunder come away with it, and OKC hangs on for the critical Game 4 win, 128-126. And as I opened the show with these words, it was a tale of two stars. SGA, 40 points, a near triple-double, led or co-led both teams in points and rebounds and assists, while the Ant-Man had just 16, his second fewest in a game this postseason, his fewest in a loss. Here he was after the game.
I don't look at it like I struggled or he struggled. They had a good game plan, making us get off the ball. Especially for me, man, they was super in the gaps. I made the right play all night, so I don't really look at it like I struggled. I didn't get enough shots to say I struggled, so that might be how you guys look at it. But yeah, I didn't struggle at all. I made the right play.
Well, let me read you the numbers. Numbers don't always tell the whole story, but this is what they say. Anthony Edwards last night with his team at home and the season to some degree on the line. He took 13 shots, 5 of 13, 1 of 7 from 3, 6 assists, 5 turnovers, a total of 16 points. So there is going to be criticism today. I will get Windy in a moment, but let me say, Markeith, is the criticism of Ant Edwards today legitimate?
I think so. Well, I know so. Coming out the way he came out in the first half in the Western Conference Finals game, a must-win game, that's unacceptable. 2 shots in the first half. One came with 34 seconds left in the first quarter. The second shot, the second made basket didn't come until 10 minutes left in the third quarter. That's unacceptable, especially when you look at how SGA came out. Exactly, and to piggyback off that, it's a rhythm thing, Greeny. Like, it's a rhythm thing. It's not always about misses or makes. It's a rhythm thing. It's getting them up, filling the ball, seeing what spots you can get to. Even if you got the raise over 2 guys, you should do that. So in the fourth quarter, going into the second half, you have that rhythm. You have that balance on the floor.
It's well put. So, Windman, you were there in the building. You know what the headlines are going to be today. Ant-Man, a no-show with his team's season on the line, or for the most part, it certainly felt that way. What did you see?
I don't think that's a fair way to look at this game. The Wolves scored 126 points. They shot 51% as a team. They shot 43% on three-pointers. Offensively, they were terrific. It was absolutely a winning performance offensively. Ant was doing what the Wolves had educated him to do. When he gets into a double team, they want him to move the ball. He was double teamed on 100% of his drives. Every time he took the ball in, they doubled him. The ball moved. The reason the Wolves lost the game was they turned the ball over 22 times. And if you want to say that he had 5 of them, and by the way, Julius Randle had 5, and say that he struggled with that, absolutely. 22 turnovers, 19 offensive rebounds. At one point in this game, Greeny, the Thunder had 23 more shots. Now, I know that that's not the exciting stat, that it's easier to point to Ant's 16 points. I'm going to point out in the last round, Jokic had a game where he had 14 shots, but the Nuggets won. Nobody was complaining after that. It was definitely not a good game by Ant, but definitely does not deserve blame for playing correct offensive basketball.
Julius Randle last night also had just a non-factor, 1 of 7, 0 of 3 from 3, a final total of 5 points for him. To Windy's point, the bench scoring, they got monster numbers, Minnesota did, off their bench. Dante DiVincenzo had 21. Nickeil Alexander-Walker had 23. They got 64 points off their bench. So the offense wasn't necessarily the problem. I guess the question is now, with the Timberwolves losing this game at home, however much of the blame Ant Edwards is going to take for it, does this thing feel like it is all over but the crying here? Do you see any way Minnesota goes and finds a way to steal a win on the road in Game 5?
I don't, because when you look at Game 1 and Game 2, the Thunder controlled both of those games. Going into OKC, excuse me, and winning a Game 5 on the road in the Western Conference Finals is going to be extremely hard, especially with the way that SGA and Jalen played last game. Winning on the road anyway in the Western Conference Finals is extremely hard, and they're up for it. I don't know if they're up for the task. Initially, I had OKC in 5. and I'm sticking with that.
It feels like it might be headed that way. And by the way, we might have to start getting used to that. I was going through all of the post-game sound bites and things like that early this morning, and something that SGA said afterwards, I can already see Windy shaking his head because he knows, or nodding his head because he knows where I'm going. SGA said made a really interesting statement about this team, where they are and where they could go. This was SGA on being sort of the senior statesman of the Thunder.
We still have so much more room to grow, which is the scary part. Like, I'm 26, which seems old compared to the other two. But yeah, they're 23 and 24. They haven't even hit close to their prime yet. Like, both of them are just out there playing off a feel and their talent. And, like, I'm excited for the future.
So let's make sure it's clear what he's saying. He is 26 years old. Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren are 24 and 23. Last night, the big three combined for 95 points. There was someone, I forget who it was, it was me, who did an essay on TV last week saying that the era of super teams in the NBA is over. The only way that you can create a super team now is to home grow one. Maybe organically, the Thunder might just have that. They are so young. Those three guys are so good. Could we be seeing the beginning of something dynastic here with this OKC team?
Greeny, you said an important part in that, homegrown,
Yeah.
right? The last dynasty, the last team that was really good, that was controlling the league, the Golden State Warriors. Drafted Steph Curry, drafted Draymond Green, drafted Klay Thompson.
Yes.
Homegrown, the system fit, right? The thing I see about OKC, that I love, and I talked about this about teams, their system. They have a really good system that benefits all three of their big three, right? Like Chet Holmgren can spread the floor, Jalen Williams can play in his mid-range, SGA is the catalyst, like he's the captain. I'm bought into the system and how these guys are bought into it, and that's what I feel like makes them a budding dynasty.
Yeah, Windy, I mean, the question on the screen, are the Thunder a super team in the making? I know they still have to win 5 more games to win this championship, but when you consider the age of these guys, what do you think?
The reason people would say that they didn't is because they didn't believe that Jalen Williams was a good enough number 2 and that Chet Holmgren was a good enough number 3. Well, I present you this Western Conference Finals. Jalen Williams was absolutely brilliant in this game. Arguably the best performance of his career. Career high in the playoffs, 34 points. Made big shot after big shot. Chet Holmgren, 21 points. Some big defensive plays, including a block near the end of the game that was absolutely a jaw-dropping play. It's not a coronation yet, but this big three looks so impressive, and they're so poised to keep them together and add.
Hôm nay mình sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn cách làm một chiếc mũ đội đầu đơn giản bằng len cho búp bê nha. Nguyên liệu của mình đây nhá, mình sẽ sử dụng 2 màu sắc len như thế này để làm này. Màu hồng và màu xanh da trời nhá, sẽ kết hợp 2 màu này lại với nhau. Sử dụng kim móc len nha mọi người. Và kéo để cắt những cái phần len thừa. Rồi giờ mình sẽ bắt tay vào làm. Đầu tiên thì sẽ sử dụng cái phần len màu hồng trước nhé. Bây giờ sẽ gỡ len ra này. Và mình sẽ móc, đầu tiên là sẽ móc